So Zlatan, who is a superstar soccer player, okay? I mean,
Top 10 in the world right now?
I don't know if he's top 10. He is probably one of the most, maybe not today at his prime, because right now he's in his late 30s. But at his prime, this guy was a ridiculous talent coming in. Everybody's 6'5", powerful, gets in your face.
He's Bosnian Croatian, yeah.
Okay.
Physical. If you've ever seen his highlights, just type in on Google Zlatan fights on Google.
Ibrahimovic.
He is a beast of a guy, right? So he goes out there, and he's a guy that's known for saying what's on his mind. He says, LeBron James is phenomenal at what he's doing, but I don't like it when people with some kind of status and they do politics at the same time as what they're doing. I mean, do what you're good at. So Zlatan calls out LeBron James. So now LeBron James has to respond back, and this is what LeBron James says. He says, there's no way I will ever just stick to sports. There's no way I will just stick to sports. I would never shut up about things that's wrong. I preach about my people, and I preach about equality, social justice, racism, systemic voter suppression, things that go in our community, because I was part of my community at one point and seeing the things that was going on. And I know what's going on still, because I have a group of 300+ kids at my school that's going through the same thing, and they need a voice. And I'm their voice. I'm their voice, and I use my platform to continue to shed light on everything that may be going on, not only in my community, but around this country and around the world. There's no way I would just ever stick to sports, because I understand how this platform works, how powerful my voice is. Thoughts?
Okay, well, I come from the same background that Zlatan does, and I'm a huge fan, as you can imagine. He's extraordinary as it relates to soccer. But I'm totally annoyed at him because he has a huge platform, and he does use his voice to speak up against racism, and Zlatan himself has experienced tremendous amounts of hatred because of his ethnic background, and has experienced racism playing in Europe. So I think as such high-profile global stars in two respective fields, I think it's incredible to use your voice to speak out and speak up about what things that are really, really important to you, because you have all these people across the world listening to you. And I feel he just kind of played into this super conservative, in my mind, racist ploy of, stay in your lane, don't, just shut up and dribble, which I think is awful. I know from what I read, he admires LeBron, loves LeBron, but I don't think he should have phrased it the way he did in that. But I also understand, coming from where we come from, particularly in former Yugoslavia, when you talk about politics, you put yourself in a really uncomfortable situation. We're taught from early age.
Never talk about
it. Don't
Never
talk
bring
about
it up.
politics. Keep your mouth shut, because you're going to get in trouble one way or another. It's almost like you associate fear with talking about politics. And so he's experienced so much hatred, Zlatan has, playing in different fields. Even like recently he was playing in Belgrade, and there was a huge racist rant. They had to apologize to him, and he was very stoic. He just didn't say anything and kind of like sucked it up. So if he's
You think he should respond back?
Absolutely. So if you have such a huge platform, and if you believe in social equality and justice, and people being at least
But
kind.
What should he say? What should he, like, if he's a player and people scream stuff at him, what should he say?
I don't think he should necessarily respond to a particular person who's being ignorant or hateful or racist or whatever, but I think he should use Twitter. You talked about technology. Use your voice to say, that's not cool. This is what I've experienced. And
Did you see what happened to this basketball player Jeremy Lin in the G League last week? Did you hear about it?
Calling him Asian names or calling him coronavirus.
So there's two school of thought here, and I think at this point it's just philosophical. So to Jeremy Lin, he's playing basketball. One of the opponents calls him coronavirus because he's from China. So hey coronavirus, hey coronavirus. So He says, I'm experiencing, racial slur comments. People are kind of saying coronavirus. So they said, who said it? He said, I'm not going to go out there and tell anybody on who said it because I don't want to throw anybody under the bus. I just want to bring awareness to say it's not appropriate and I hear it, but it needs to stop, but I'm not going to call anybody out. I thought his approach was actually very respectful.
He took the high road.
I like the way he did it.
agree.
I like the way that he took that. And by the way, earlier this year, something happened with LeBron at a game, at an Atlanta game. I don't know which game it was, Paul, when one of the fans started shouting at LeBron. The husband and him went at it, and then they got kicked out. And then they asked LeBron afterwards, so LeBron, what do you think about what happened right now? He says, well, listen, I'm just glad the fact that fans are back because that's fans. They scream, we go at it, we go back and forth. That is normal. That's going to be taking place. So, sometimes I wonder if some of these athletes like a Zlatan is like, I just don't even want to get into the political world just to get into the world. Yet he has such a big platform to use it. Is it right to use it? Or is it better to take the Michael Jordan approach and say, look, man, I'm just not getting into politics?
That's exactly where I was going with this, is that, Michael Jordan set a precedent for himself and athletes that he was going to be apolitical. Even in North Carolina, when, I don't know if it was Jesse Helms or whoever the hell it was in North Carolina, was a blatant racist running against a black politician. And people, even I think his mom and people in his corner are like, you got to speak up about this. Like, these are your people. Like, what's up? And he's like, you know what? Famous quote, Republicans buy sneakers too. And he's been for a long time apolitical. And during the BLM and Blue Lives Matter movement, he donated, an equal amount of money to both sides, right? LeBron James, different character. LBJ, DGA fee. LeBron James don't give a F, So he has a voice. He's going to use it. He's not going to just shut up and dribble. Laura Ingraham, called him out a few years ago, and he's like, nah.
But I thought that was also a dumb comment she made. What do you mean, just shut up and dribble?
I know, that was
what are you talking
disrespectful.
about?
So racist.
Yeah, it's not about just shut up and dribble. I think, I think it's just a different level of I like Jordan's approach. I like Jordan's approach of what he took. And I do think you talk about your own, but I also think there's an element of LeBron also been divisive. Well, I think you're also dividing America.
You said you've been polarized by LeBron. You've been vocal that you're not a fan.
I don't think he's a uniter. Yeah. I mean, all this stuff about unite. LeBron definitely is not.
But what's different about what he's doing than what Trump's doing?
I didn't
dividing.
Did I say Trump's a uniter?
No, not at all.
Did you hear me at all? Category?
Not at all.
I think LeBron and Trump are very similar.
Mm-hmm.
I think
LeBron they're playing to their base.
I think LeBron and Trump are very similar. Very similar. The only difference is Trump converts. LeBron doesn't. LeBron just gets his own audience, but he doesn't convert.
Trump used to convert.
Trump is a converter.
He's no longer a converter.
Because he doesn't have a platform. If he did, he would continue.
He lost his platform.
That's the point. Yeah. But what I'm trying to tell you is LeBron and Trump, believe it or not, are very, very similar. Very similar. Well, Jordan is in a league of his own in the way he handled media, in the way he did everything. Jordan, Reagan, those guys you put in a similar league of their own. John F. Kennedy, these are in the league of their own, okay? Reagan won 49 out of 50 states, and even Democrats like the guy. Okay, John F. Kennedy, even Republicans liked him. Jordan, even Republicans like him. Even when Jordan and Barkley were once on an Oprah Winfrey show, and they were teasing each other, and Barkley, actually, they were at the Olympics and something, they were playing. He says, hey, Jordan, Mike, why don't you tell everybody, who'd you vote for president? None of your business. Yeah, I know you voted Republican. So there is that joke that Barkley would have with him. So, but I like the way Jordan did it. And quite frankly, Zlatan is probably sitting there. For Zlatan to do this, and you go back to his history, and he made some comments years ago himself that he used his own platform. He made some comments saying there were some comments made about me. So he has done it before. So there's a little bit of hypocrisy on Zlatan's position as well, because Zlatan's like a Trump for you to say, don't use your platform to say anything. You can say, I disagree with LeBron, but you can't say, don't use your platform. The guy's going to use his platform. So LeBron can say whatever he wants to say. If he agrees, disagrees, he's earned the right to say whatever he wants to say. Yeah. There's shots that comes with it, but he can say whatever he wants to say. I think Zlatan's one of those guys that he's so witty, he's so smart, he's so good with the media, that he would actually make a decent politician later on. He would be entertaining. I'm being serious.
And by the way, I think he likes controversy as well. So he knows that everyone's going to be talking about Zlatan if he goes against
Oh, do you
LeBron.
think there was a little bit more behind this when he said this comment? He knew that it would get picked up, LeBron would exchange. Now we're talking about it on the podcast.
Absolutely. No.
Okay.
It's guess who's trending
He's
right
larger
now?
than
Stirring the pot.
Zlatan
It's stirring
is
the
larger.
pot.
FYI, Zlatan played for what team in the soccer?
AC Milan?
Yeah, and then where did he play in U.S.?
LA Galaxy.
Okay, who else was in L.A. at the time?
David Beckham.
LeBron James. So L.A., there's some stuff, these guys are competitive guys. When Zlatan came to, if you ever watch him play when he played for Galaxy, let me tell you, people lost their minds when this guy played. I want to watch this guy. I was on the grass watching Zlatan play. It's ridiculous watching this guy play live. I mean,
Make an analogy, would you? Like, is
he's the
Charles Barkley
No, he's
of
not.
soccer? Who is he?
He's the LeBron James of soccer with his
Absolutely.
body, because soccer players are tiny.
But he's not. LeBron James is like the greatest of all time. Like,
Stop it.
like
Stop.
Ronaldo
Finish
would be
the
a
podcast.
LeBron.
Please get this guy out
Ronaldo
of here
would
right
not.
now.
Ronaldo would
Get him
be.
out of this building
Hey,
right now.
hey.
LeBron James,
LeBron-
the greatest of all time.
Jordan's the greatest of
Not-
all time. Jordan
okay,
would be like
good.
a Pele. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Jordan would be like a Pele.
No, what I'm saying to you is, let me make the
Ronaldo
analogy.
would be LBJ.
Let me make the analogy
Okay.
that's a little better for you.
Yes, please.
Is LeBron the greatest human specimen ever in the game of basketball outside of Shaq?
Physically.
Physically.
Yeah. That's what you're saying. Physically.
Oh, he's a
I'm
human.
saying iconically or legendarily.
Game-wise-
Who is he? Game like.
He's Shaq.
Okay.
He's the Shaq of soccer.
Oh,
It's the
wow.
best way to put it. He's the Shaq of soccer. Let me tell you, he pushed people around. He elbowed you in the face. He slapped you in the face. He punched you. He did
Yeah.
everything. Everything you're not supposed to do.
Better than Zidane?
Oh, league of his own.
Yeah.
The guy was a Taekwondo black belt
Yeah.
who played soccer.
Oh, damn.
So he's known,
She's not
he's
playing
a
around.
fighter and he's a, he's a survivor.
He's aggressive.
He's very, very aggressive. So,
Go type in Zlatan kicks on YouTube. See how he kicks. He would destroy a person if he kicked him.
I love watching him too,
I
by
do
the
as
way.
well.
It's just,
Yeah.
it's a persona.
Have you
It's
seen his
just great
documentary?
presence. I have not seen it
Okay,
yet.
so the documentary is a good one because they record him when he's 17 years old and he's going with his manager to go negotiate the big contract. He's about to get a massive contract, and his manager is getting nervous. And Zlatan, 16, 17 years old, says, "Get your act together. You're acting like you're scared. Okay? Act like you belong here." Tells the 50-year-old guy this.
Absolutely.
He tells his 50-year-old manager, "Act like you belong here. Why do you look so nervous?"
Act like you've been here before,
16,
buddy.
17-year-old kid telling
he
that too.
speaks of himself in third person.
Yes, he does.
So
Zlatan
it's
thinks
pretty
this.
awesome.
Yeah, you gotta love the guy.
Got an
Anyways,
ego.
So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.